So here I am sitting in front of my Pro Tools system in my studio. This one video is going to sound like crap because I'm using the microphone built into, notice I'm using Command Tab to get to the open application. It's going to go to Safari. And I just wanted to show you this camera I'm using. It's got a remote control and I can move it around the room if I need to. But for now I'm using the microphone built into this thing because I don't have Pro Tools open yet. And also just to show you the computer, the screen I'm using, this is a Samsung 34-inch curved monitor, and like I said, I have two of them, and I keep my edit screen on the left and my mix screen on the right. You do not need this as a beginner. If you're using big sessions and you need lots and lots of screen space, then yes, but it's not anything that you need right now. Grow into two monitors. It's a great thing when you're using big sessions, but for now there's no reason you need two screens, but when you get advanced it's awesome. Also, here's my computer I'm using a 2010 Mac Pro. It's a 6-year-old computer and it's still a workhorse. It's amazing. And the reason I got it is because I'm going to hide this. By the way, I want to get this out of the way, right? I am never, ever going to hit this red button. This red button, when you're in an application, is the stupidest button to hit. Whenever you see red button, think, stupid. Because if I close this, I'm going to lose all these tabs. And I want to keep these tabs open, right? So what do? Do I hit the minimize button, then I have to go down here and try to find it? Hell no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hit Command H to hide. Bam! Okay, now I need my Safari back again. I'm going to Command Tab. There's Safari. It's a heck of a lot easier than going, oh, I'm going to minimize, up, now I got to go find it, up, it's down there, and up, it's back. What's faster? You know, Command H, Command Tab. Heck of a lot faster. Command H, I don't want it out of my way. And now I'm looking at my desktop, my nice, neat, clean desktop, because I do not save stuff to my desktop, because you've had this lecture, and here it comes again. Saving stuff to your desktop is the worst habit you can get into. If your computer is lagging and slow, I would venture to guess you've got files all over the place, you don't know what's going on, where the files are, and your desktop is a big mess. Don't do it. Take a day and clean up your desktop. If your desktop's a mess, make a new folder, Command-Shift-N. So make sure you're in the Finder up at the top left here, and under File, New Finder folder, bam, and it puts a new folder, or a new Finder window. I want a new folder. Command-Shift-N, you'll see the shortcut right there, and then I can call this desktop shit, and I can take everything and throw it into there and get it off my desktop, and then move things around. You should get in the habit of making folders and moving things and organizing things. It's a great habit. It will make your computer run a heck of a lot better. So here's my desktop. Here's my Macintosh hard drive. These are internal hard drives inside of the computer. And instead of having a bunch of loud external hard drives, I got the Mac Pro and put these inside. And basically that's my system, and we're going to open up Pro Tools, and Pro Tools is down in my dock, and somebody messaged me and asked me, how do I get something into my dock? So I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to take Pro Tools out. I'm just going to click on it and see it says remove. Okay, now there's no Pro Tools in the dock. So Pro Tools is in my application folder, right? As always, there's 10 ways to get there. I can double click on my hard drive, and then also another thing is, I don't view like in icons. I view right here, view as list. And the one thing I mostly view as is date modified, because that shows me the most recent activity in whatever folder is in this window. So I'm going to double click on my application folder. And again, if I was looking like this, how the hell am I going to find anything, right? So I'm going to go back to list. And this is where it makes sense here, instead of date modified, to view by name, because it'll be in alphabetical order. So I'm trying to find Pro Tools, right? I could scroll down until I find it, or I could hit P. And you see automatically I'm hitting the down arrow until I get to Pro Tools. It's a heck of a lot faster than scrolling here. So I can take Pro Tools here and drag it to my dock, but I want to show you a shortcut that I use all the time because you're going to have to go to your application folder a lot. So what you want to make sure is that you're in the Finder. And this is another thing a lot of people don't realize. This right here at the top left, the word right to the right of the black apple is telling you where you are. It's like one of those signs at an amusement park saying, you are here. So right now, if I go to Safari, it's going to say I'm in Safari. But watch this. If I click outside of Safari onto my desktop, I'm now in the Finder. I'm seeing Safari, so if I try to do something in Safari, it's not working. That's because I'm in the Finder. I can see Safari, but I'm not in Safari. I hope that makes sense. But this will show you, I go to Preview, and now there's a tutorial I was reading. Now I'm in Preview. So there's Preview right there, and then boom, then Safari. If I click on my desktop, I'm in the Finder. So I want to get this stuff out of the way, and again, I'm not going to hit the red button. I'm going to hide. Command H, same thing for this tutorial, Command H, and I'm back to my desktop. So I want to get to Pro Tools to put it into my dock. It's in my application folder. I'm in the Finder. In the Finder, you hit Command Shift A. Bam! Okay? Now when I get to Pro Tools, I can just type PR. And now it goes to Preview. I can hit my down arrow. And now I can just take Pro Tools and drag it to my dock. So now I'm done with this window, and I'm going to close it. Command W closes a window. Sometimes you do need to close a window. It's when you're in an application that you don't want to hit the red button, because if you're using Microsoft Word and you're writing a letter and you save and you close the red button, Microsoft Word is still open and it's using memory, but your letter's gone. So if you still want your letter up, then hide it. If you're not using Microsoft Word anymore, then quit. Hitting the red button closes the document. It doesn't quit the application. So either hide if you want something still open, or quit. So like say if I wanted my calendar, and I go into my calendar and I go to edit something, do I want to hide it and keep it open so I can go, oh, let me look at my calendar real quick. Okay. Or am I done with my calendar? I'm going to quit it. So get in the habit of knowing when to hide and when to quit, but don't hit the red button to close a window and keep applications open. It's a waste of memory. There's your lecture. So now we're going to open Pro Tools real quick before we get to tutorial number 2, where we're actually going to use Pro Tools. So Pro Tools is going to open, and I'm using Pro Tools 12.5. I'm using Pro Tools HD because I have it connected to an interface, because I have a bunch of inputs, because it's a real commercial, was a commercial studio. But you don't need this. Every single thing we're doing, I could do on that little bitty interface. I'm using 2 outputs of Pro Tools going to my speakers, and that's it. And I just have this big screen because I like screen space, and I have a lot of disk space because I use virtual instruments plugins that require a lot of space. So Pro Tools comes up and says, okay, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to a recent session, or do you want to create a new one? We want to create a new one, right? So first thing we're going to do is name it. I'm going to call this Inspiration Session 1. I'm always numbering things because you can have 1,000 different versions. I'm going to make mine 48. I do a lot of video work, so most video stuff is at 48. I'm going to make 24-bit. And then I always want to make sure it says prompt for location. So it comes up, and this is a good way for you to understand where stuff is on your hard drive. And you say create. So since you have prompt for location chosen, it's going to come up and say, okay, where do you want to put it? I have a hard drive called the internal 2 GB hard drive, and I am going to make a folder. I make folders for projects. So if I'm working on a film and there's a couple different songs, I'm going to make a folder called Film 1, or whatever the heck the name of the film is, and I'm going to save all my Pro Tools sessions pertaining to that film in that folder. And I'm not going to save it to my desktop. I'm going to save it to a hard drive. So this is a hard drive that I have very few things on. I'm going to make a new folder right here, and I'm going to call it Tutorial Sessions, just like I did on the laptop. I hit return, and then right here, Inspiration Session 1, I click Save. So now we've saved, we have a brand new blank session in Pro Tools. We have it saved to a hard drive. You know how to get stuff in and out of your dock. You know about not cluttering up your desktop and not hitting the red button. And let's stop there and let's get into Pro Tools and get to the fun stuff. The next video is going to sound a lot better because I'm going to be using the microphone and the Pro Tools interface for your audio and not this crappy microphone on this camera. So let's move on.